Okay, so and then we have here the main verb, which is lego, means to say, to speak. When translated, I am speaking, which is denied by the not. I am not speak. I do not speak. This is in your aoristic present for this moment that he's speaking, that he's writing at this moment. The active voice, Paul produces the action of the verb of not giving them a command, but rather getting down to their level as fellow ambassadors, as fellow believers. And the indicative mood is declarative of him speaking, denied by the he's not speaking in a certain way. What is that certain way? Speaking from the authority of his apostleship. He's speaking on their same level. And how does he say it? With the attributive position, here, this prepositional phrase in the attributive position, right between and lego is kata epitagein. Epitagei. This is command. It's a cognate of epitazo, to command, to charge. So kata plus the accusative is the preposition of norm and standard, but we're going to translate it. So if you want literal, I'm not speaking according to command to charge. But I'm going to translate it to make it better English, by command. Paul's not using the authority of his apostleship. He's just putting the ball in their court, giving him the principle. He's going to do a little bit of application for them, as we're going to see in the next verse. He's going to go back to the hypostatic union and apply the doctrine of kenosis to the situation. He's going to tell the Corinthians, the Lord Jesus Christ was consistently under the doctrine of kenosis. How about you apply a little bit of kenosis yourself? And so he's going to leave everything, a little bit of application. He's going to give them a mild command and allow them to do the application. And whatever happens, happens. This is going to be between them and God. It is a test, because we're going to see right now this word, dokimatsu, testing you, testing for the purpose of approval. Okay, so I am not speaking by command. I do not speak by command. Just elaborating here as to the mild command here. See that you also excel in this grace. I am not speaking. I do not speak by command. Excuse me. And then Allah, contrast. What is he contrasting? The mild command versus the real thing. How he's speaking. He's speaking for the purpose of testing them. So, Allah, we can translate it instead. And then we have here, instead of a main verb and a finite verb, we have a participle of dokimatsu. We've seen dokimatsu up here. The cognate of it, we see the dokime. It is a cognate of it in the sphere of severe testing for the purpose of approval. Bole here is translated severe. The purpose, testing for the purpose of approval. Down here is the verb, well, it's a participle, which is going to be translated as a finite verb. Dokimatsu. Dokimatsu. So, I am not speaking by command. Instead, testing. Let's do that now because it's a participle. I'm going to go very literal for now, and it's a participle, present active participle. So we're going to say testing just for now. Present tense. The present tense is a progressive present for right now, testing, allowing them. Here it expresses the linear action sort of Paul telling him that the test is already starting. Probably at this moment the Corinthians are going through a little bit suffering for blessing, so as to put them on the same level as the Macedonians. They encountered a test and they welled up, resulting in the riches of their gracious generosity. Let's see what happens to the Corinthians here. So that's why he expresses it in the present tense. The testing has begun. Active voice. Paul produces the action of the verb. Here, even though he's not speaking in terms of command, he is using his apostleship in terms of allowing a little test to fall on them. And God honors it. And by him honoring it, he's probably allowing a certain type of pressure to befall the Corinthians. And the participle here is Well, it's circumstantial, but we're going to translate it finite, because he's saying, I do not speak by command, instead testing you. So we're going to have to go and translate it finite. I'm testing for the purpose of approval. A human being has no right to test you. If a believer is saying, I'm just testing you to see your spiritual growth, well, you tell him F off. No, don't tell him that, but understand the principle that, no one has a right to test you. This is between you and God. God is the one that allows the test. But Paul, he is an apostle. He has a special type of authority. He is the dictator, the spiritual dictator here in the pre-canon stage of the church age, for that is what apostleship is. So he definitely has the right to do this, and God is going to honor it, just as he honors the gift of pastor teacher, the gift of evangelist, the gift of apostle. He's going to honor this as well. Testing you. This is an evaluation. He wants to see how far the Corinthians are from achieving this love. Gate 5 of the divine power sphere. Okay. Why also is it the participle? Is using the participle again? He's expressing right now that the testing has begun. And so he's expressing the progressiveness as the test going in progress and process at this moment. Okay. I'm testing for the purpose of approval. What? What is he testing? Here we have a prepositional phrase, through the diligence of others. But the accusative direct object, have you found it? Do you even try to look at these things sometimes? Do you challenge yourself a little bit to see if you're learning some of the Greek? As you can see, I just mentioned that this is translated as a finite verb, so therefore you should be looking for the accusative direct object. And where is the accusative direct object? It's over here. To and gnation. This is the accusative singular neuter. Its article is here. And if you know something, is that the article and its noun always agree in gender, case, and number. So to gnation. What might be confusing here is this phrase in the attributive position. So to gnation. This is the accusative direct object that receives the action of the verb of testing for the purpose of approval. What is Paul testing for the purpose of approval? The genuineness, the sincerity, as the NIV translated, but sincerity does not mean anything. Sincerity has acquired a different connotation, a weak and a cheap connotation, a fake and a hypocritical connotation. Nation does mean genuineness, but it is a word referring to a legitimate child. The Bible must be interpreted in the time in which it was written, and this was a time when, yes, it was very important for a child to be born in wedlock. It was seen, a woman was seen, if she had a child out of wedlock, she was seen as a whore. And so right now I know that this doesn't really make sense nowadays because so many children are being born out of wedlock, etc. But it must be interpreted in the time in which it was written, and a child, for him to be legitimate, was very important. Here, what is the legitimacy? It is love. So the legitimacy, gnation, the legitimacy of, and we have the descriptive genitive of agapes, agapes, the legitimacy of your love. The doctrine inside of your soul produces a legitimate child in wedlock. Only divine love is a legitimate love. Other than that, any fake love that you have is not legitimate. It's a bastard love. This is divine love. And the only time that divine love is born is when you reach gate 5. That's where it begins. And thereafter you increase and you increase and you increase and you increase it. So, this descriptive genitive, the legitimacy of love, but here we have this possessive, and look, it's not, we usually find hamon. Do you notice that we have the possessive of su, of your love? Here it's not using that possessive pronoun, it's using a possessive adjective, which makes it even more emphatic. Your, humeteros. Here is the love of yours, your love, your own love. Very emphatic as to responsibility. You might say, oh, why did little Luisito turn out to be like this? Oh my God, she's such a headache. And someone tells you, I don't know, he's your son, you raised him. This is the type of you, your love, that it's talking about. It expresses responsibility, accountability, the responsibility of your own decisions, the responsibility to advance in the plan of God and produce this divine love, your love. Not only does it become yours after you learn Bible doctrine, but you get to enjoy it. Before having this love, any type of love that you have is hypocritical. It's a bastard love, and that's yours as well. That's your love, a hypocritical bastard son. But now, once you arrive at gate 5, because of your consistency in learning Bible doctrine, that love, that divine love becomes your love as well. Responsibility, accountability. And so, what do we have thus far? I do not speak by command. Instead, I am testing the legitimacy of your love. And I do not know how to get this in English, the emphasis of humeteros, but your. I can just scream it out maybe, shout it out, but I'm not going to do that. The legitimacy of your own love, your love. It's your child. You're responsible for your child. What are you doing? You cannot blame anyone. It's your child here. This love. It's your responsibility. Are you using grace? Are you increasing in grace? If you're not, then your love is going to be a bastard child. What are you doing? Okay. And so he's testing to see whether this love has been born, the legitimacy. If the child is legitimate, that means that the love is divine love. They've arrived at gate 5 of the divine power sphere. If the love is still a bastard love, it has mixed motives, still filled, motivated by lust and arrogance inside of the sin nature, then it's still a bastard love. It is fake love. It is a love that the infant, the spiritual baby, still has. But the Corinthians are close because he's already eulogizing for all the doctrine. They excel in all things. But he wants to see how far they are from reaching this divine love. And how does he do it? Something that is still amazes me, he was able to evaluate the Corinthians just as he evaluated the Macedonians. And how does he do it? Through dia plus the genitive of instrument through spudes of spude. We've seen this word, eagerness, diligence. But spude has been translated many, many different ways. It is haste, it is eagerness, it is diligence, all these different things. But it is also, as we mentioned before, it is diligence, diligent application. It is motivation from the Bible doctrine that resides in your soul, and this motivation turns into motivation to apply Bible doctrine. This diligence of application directed towards your pastor becomes diligent commitment. This diligence of application towards God becomes momentum to continue advancing in the plan of God. This diligence of application towards your right woman or your right man becomes also motivation to continue loving as part of your spiritual life. So spudes is diligence, motivation, and it kind of changes when it comes to the object. Okay. Through the diligent application. And then, in here in the attributed position between dia plus spudes is the genitive of possession of heteros, from which we get the word heterosexual, a different of another kind. There's another word for different, which is allos. Allos, which means different of the same kind, but heteros is different of another kind. What other kind are we talking about here? The other kind is the Macedonians. Other kind meaning different spiritual growth. Other kind meaning different type of testings, because they were poor. And so a little bit more poverty was their type of test. The Corinthians are wealthy, they're affluent. There are cities located right in the isthmus, so they're going to have different type of testing. Different levels of growth, different types of testing. As a result, from the other, through the application of others of a different kind. Different kind here is different spiritual growth. It does not mean different kind of believers in terms of different ideas, different doctrines, or believer versus unbeliever. No, it is different spiritual growth. And so that's how he's going to use it. He's going to use this as a gauge to see whether they've advanced all the way to gate 5 of the divine power sphere.